Hey guys, welcome to SCG Collects. I'm Annie. Hey guys, welcome back to all my subscribers and returning viewers, and hello to all of you new people who are watching me. I do apologize for no video last week. I was actually at a convention with my mom. So I kind of took the weekend off, didn't record anything, didn't upload anything. And I didn't really get too much at the convention to really share on the channel here. Didn't come home with a figure, didn't come home with any models. Basically ended up with a lot of art prints, which, you know, you guys will probably see eventually when I do maybe a future room tour or something. But yeah, not a lot to share from the convention, at least at this point on the channel. Anyways, though, today I do want to share with you guys my November haul. So for the haul, I have 5 scale figures that I want to share with you guys. 2 of them were items that I pre-ordered, and I feel like I waited forever for, just between delays and waiting for them to ship to me and all that stuff. Like, I just feel like I was waiting forever. And I have a feeling when you guys see the ones I'm talking about, probably a lot of you will feel the same way. But besides the 2 pre-orders, I do have 3 pre-owned items that I picked up in the month of November. Very, very excited about all 3 of them. Just designs that I really love. Just really wanted figures of these designs or these characters. So really excited to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and jump into it. First figure I want to share with you guys is the Genshin Impact Mona Astral Reflection 1/7 scale figure. So I bet a lot of you guys are familiar with this one. I think my figure collection shows this is like one of the most, if not the most, ordered figures on the website. And, you know, getting her, having her in my hands, and also just knowing how popular Genshin Impact is, I can absolutely see why everybody apparently wanted this figure. So Mona is yet another Genshin Impact character that I do not actually have in my game on my account. It seems like all the figures that come out are Genshin characters I don't have. Regardless, though, I am obsessed with Genshin character designs. I always think they're so good. So, of course, when Mona was announced and I found out, I wanted to get her. Also, just her, like, vibe and aesthetic specifically. Like, I know a lot of people are talking about this piece at the bottom being water. And I don't know for sure what, I guess, like, element or whatever she uses in the game. Maybe it is water. But I feel like based on the name of this figure being Astral Reflection version, she must have something to do with, like, space and stars and all that stuff. And she kind of does have, like, the gold sort of stars. I mean, they're shaped like diamonds, but, you know, they're kind of star-like. So yeah, that whole kind of aesthetic as well is right up my alley. But I pre-ordered her on AmiAmi. I got her for 15,980 yen. So whatever, like, her retail price was for pre-orders, basically. I think this is a fantastic figure. I think Good Smile and Wonderful Works did an absolutely phenomenal job. Like, the paint job on this figure is so good. Like, the shading and all the blue on her outfit, she has this, like, gorgeous kind of, like, purplish shading going on. Just, ugh, so good. All the little details are really clean. The paint job is clean. You know, looking over her, I haven't really seen any, you know, poor paint job or, you know, bad paint job, even with all the little bits and pieces going on, like her necklace and, you know, the gold pieces on her hat and the not striping, but, you know, the edges that are gold. so, so good. And her pose is just so dynamic. The way, you know, she's like twisted and kind of seems to be casting her spell. And I mean, we all got to throw props up to the booty, because if you have not seen the booty on this figure, it is well sculpted. We'll leave it at that. Just really, really cool figure. One thing I am a little, like, I guess kind of scared about is just this pose, the way she's just on one leg and, you know, kind of already angled to the side. I just have, you know, this fear of her leaning even more over time. She does connect to a pretty, somewhat long metal peg for her foot, but I could not get her all the way down. And I got her far enough down I can't pull her back up. So that kind of stresses me out a little bit. You know, I'm afraid trying to pull her off of here again, gonna potentially break these, you know, clear blue pieces. I don't know. She seems stable enough. I mean, you know, holding her, she seems totally fine. I guess I'm just worried about long term. But, you know, what can you do? What can you do? That's the risk you take with tilted figures, I guess. So yeah, really, really awesome, amazing figure. I really love her. I'm super happy to have her and, you know, kind of be growing my Genshin character collection. Have her displayed next to Ningguang and all the other Genshin character figures that are coming out over the next few months, or that I'm still waiting on. So yeah, I can't wait to see them all together and, you know, just have my little Genshin gang. It's so cute. So next up we have another kind of infamous figure, and that is the Hatsuaki, I believe is how it's pronounced. I just kind of call her the cool techno samurai because that's kind of what her outfit makes me think of. But I think they went with the name Hatsuaki. I know there had been a couple names floating around. But she is the 1/7 scale figure by Wings Incorporated, or Wings Inc. So this is a figure that I feel like we were all just waiting forever for. I know she got delayed several times. I feel like people were starting to think like, oh my god, this figure is just never going to be released. But obviously she was. And, I mean, another just incredible figure. The details that are in this figure and, you know, were included, I mean, they really, really did a fantastic job of basically perfectly matching the source art, because this is based on a drawing, and now the name of the artist escapes me. I believe it's, I don't know how you pronounce it, it's like S-W-A-V, I believe is the artist. But yeah, I mean, they did such an amazing job just capturing that artwork and getting all the details in there. I mean, the little laces on her boots, all the little ties and straps, and the details on the outside of these swords, and the little, you know, dangly bits coming off of them. Just absolutely fantastic. What a wonderful paint job. I think one really cool detail is the kind of front piece. I don't know if you want to call this a skirt or what, but this front piece right here was actually made out of some kind of at least semi-clear plastic, so just really neat difference in texture there. Just so good. And I think she just looks like such a badass. Like her pose and the strength of the pose, and just being this, like, you know, sexy lady with her swords. I mean, what more could you ask for? Like, it's just so perfect. So yeah, I mean, there were a lot of delays. That kind of sucked, having to wait so long. but I do think she was worth the wait. I hope everyone else felt the same way. I've seen so many good comments and reviews of her, so I think most people have turned out pleased. And you know, I would recommend, like, if you were on the fence, if you weren't sure about picking her up before, or I don't know, gave up your pre-order because you felt like she was taking too long to come out, I mean, definitely try to snag her if you have any interest. I don't know what she's looking like on the aftermarket, if she's still available new, or if you are looking at having to buy pre-owned, and what those prices look like. But yeah, if you have a chance to grab her for a good price, I would definitely do so. Totally worth it. Awesome, awesome, unique figure. And I know that some of this artist's other artwork has kind of been picked up for some future figures. Very early stages, no prototypes, I don't think, on anything yet. But, you know, just based on how this one came out, I am very excited to see what figures of his other pieces of art end up looking like. So, something to look forward to. Alright, so we've gotten through the 2 pre-order scales. Now we're going to move on to some pre-owned figures that I picked up last month. So the first one I want to start with is from the 7 Deadly Sins collection, which is, at least this figure is by Amakuni and Hobby Japan. So we're not talking 7 Deadly Sins, the anime, or anything. But this is from Amakuni and Hobby Japan's line of personification to the 7 Deadly Sins, and I picked up Gluttony. So she's a 1/8 scale. I got her pre-owned from Ami Ami for about $70, or like $70.07 or something, and she was marketed as AB condition. So I would question the AB condition on this one. She was sealed when I got her, so I guess it is fair to say at least that part of her, you know, was A condition. She was sealed, or at least appeared to be sealed. But there do seem to be a couple little, I guess, defects or missing pieces, so to speak. So first and foremost, when I opened her, I realized that on her left boot, kind of the sole and heel of the boot are a slightly separate piece from the rest of the boot. And that actually came completely separated. Like, there had been a metal peg that held it all together, but that had been gotten separated, and so she was kind of starting to lean because she was falling off her foot, but thankfully just some super glue took care of that. The other piece, though, that I don't know what happened here, it, like, wasn't mentioned in the listing. So if you look at the front piece of her base, it almost looks like the horn on one side of the skull is missing. Like, there's a horn on this side, and there's not on this one, and it almost looks like it came out. I don't know if it's supposed to detach. I don't know where it is. I didn't see it in the box, so that's kind of a bummer. Now, as you're looking at this missing piece here, though, you may also notice that her little name plaque says Galt. But, as I mentioned before, this is Gluttony. So, apparently, when they manufactured this figure, like the first run of this figure, they spelled the sin wrong. And also, I don't know why they shortened it to Glut, or tried to shorten it to Glut anyways, because some of the, like, longer sin names for some of the other figures in this series have the full name on it, but whatever manufacturers are going to do what they want to do. The fix for this that was provided, though, and this did come with my version of the figure, was to send out stickers to just cover this. Obviously, I have not put the sticker on yet. Part of me is like, I don't care enough to put it on. I think it's kind of funny to have it misspelled like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll eventually put one of these on. I guess I'm glad that they were included, should I choose to do that. or if I guess sell this figure one day, you know, maybe this helps the resale value. But yeah, so that's why she is misspelled. And despite all the kind of, you know, bits and pieces about this figure, all that stuff, you know, I can't say that I think it's like a terrible figure, because it is an older figure, you know, at least a few years old when this originally came out. So it's been a while, so, you know, if some seams are slightly loose, you know, even if she's been in the box, you know, what can you do? The figure itself, though, I think she is just adorable, which is why I bought her. I love the chain that they did wrapping all around her. I think they could have done a little more detail in the chain. It might have been difficult because it is such a tiny, like, thin chain that they did, and because of the proportions and everything. But the chain is, like, rather solid. There's not a lot of definition in, like, the center of each link. And I also just feel like the paint for it is a little bit too shiny. But overall, I think it's a very cool detail. Again, the way it, like, wraps all the way around her. I love her wings, you know, I love her little pumpkins and like her pet pumpkin up here grabbing onto the chain. She is technically cast off, so you can take both her, like, whole skirt piece off so that she's just in her panties, which I might show in the B-roll because I feel like I can get away with that on YouTube. But her top also comes off, and it's some kind of weird, just like pull on and off mechanism. I don't even know if it's magnetic, but yeah, just all the little bits. I like the one thing I do like is on her, kind of like collar choker thing, there's a kind of a single chain link, and it is loose, like you can kind of flip it up and down. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, so overall, just an adorable figure. Just, out of this, all the 7 Deadly Sins that Amakuni and Hobby Japan did, I think she was my favorite. I just thought she was so cute. So yeah, this, you know, I'm happy to have her. I think she'll kind of fit right in with some of my other, you know, like Oni girls, succubus kind of girls. I think she'll fit right in with them. And, you know, just look really good with the rest of the collection. Alright, so next up, we have a figure of Chiyo. So if you're not familiar with Chiyo, she is originally from, like, a hentai, manga, doshinji? I cannot say that word to save my life. But the work she's from is called, I believe, Ane Naru Mano. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But beyond the H manga, the creator also did a slightly more, I don't know if family friendly is the right word, but a, less 18 plus version of the work. I think that one was kind of more of a prequel, explaining her backstory and everything. Regardless, I had not read either of the works, either of the mangas, before I saw her character, even before I decided to buy her. I originally saw some of her figure designs just on my figure collection, and I just thought they were so cool. Like, oh my god, here's this just kind of cute, pretty looking lady with freaking goat hooves. Like, come on, guys, and horns. So I knew that I wanted to add some kind of figure of her. This is actually the 1/8 scale figure by Revolve. And I picked this up used from Akiba Soul for about $78, roughly. Akiba Soul's grading scale for figures is a little different than Ami Ami, but essentially, in Ami Ami terms, I guess she'd be like an AB, maybe even an AA. So she was unopened, brand new. And she has the regular version. There's a limited or like special version that exists, where the only difference is that her base, instead of being like this pink, you know, fluffy, just kind of carpet, that she is on a base that's more like stone looking, that does kind of fit her character more given the source material, but at the same time, like some people pointed out, she kind of blends into it because of her dark, you know, like goat legs and dark hair and everything, and the dark base. I do think the carpet kind of helps it pop, and I think it makes it look a little bit cuter. So yeah. So the reason I jumped on this figure was really about the price. Like $78 I thought was a really fair price for her. I am still looking to get one of the other figures of her. I forget exactly who makes it. And it was on Akiba Soul at the same time she was on there. But the other figure, they were wanting over like $300 for, which I just don't have right now. So I went with her. Overall, I mean, for $78, I think this is a really well done figure. I know there's been a lot of discussion, like if you look her up on my figure collection, there's been a ton of discussion about her face, how the face looks different from the prototype, and, you know, it doesn't look like the character, and she looks cross-eyed, and, you know, some people going so far as to say, like, I can't even, like, look at this figure because the face is so, I guess, messed up. And I do agree to a point. I do agree that the face does look different from, like, if you look at the prototype figures. I do agree that it looks slightly different than what the character actually looks if you see, like, her artwork. Or, you know, even just, again, looking at the prototype. I don't, though, think that it's, like, horrifically cross-eyed or so bad that it can't be looked at. I just kind of see that as a reason why this particular figure was maybe only $79 versus the other one that I'm looking at being $300 plus. Other than the face, though, the figure is done extremely well. The paint job is good. The sculpt is good. I think it really does capture her. I mean, I think it's based on a piece of artwork out of one of the mangas anyways. And she does come with, I don't know if these are supposed to be flowers or, you know, just some kind of gory bit. Because there's a little bit of, you know, ickiness in the manga. But weird thing about it is, like, it just sits in her hand. I don't even think there's a spot for, like, where a peg would have gone as if a peg broke off. So yeah, you basically just set this in her hand, and in her box it was, like, its own little piece. So, thankfully that was included. So, yeah, I'm pleased with her. Overall, I'm happy. I'm happy to finally have a Chio in my collection. Like I said, I do hope to get the more expensive one someday in the future. Maybe have 2 of them or more. You know, I know her bunny figure just got a re-release in a bare legs version. So they're definitely still kind of here and there pumping out some figures of her. I also would recommend reading at least like the more family friendly manga that she's in. It was pretty cute, and I did end up reading it right after I ordered her, just so I knew what was going on, and thankfully she didn't turn out to be a horrible person or absolutely evil, so I didn't have to feel bad about ordering her. So yeah, nice figure, nice goat lady. Take a look. Final figure for the video, final pre-owned figure I got this past month. I actually want to start with the box. It's not often that I share boxes of figures on this channel, but just the box of this figure, when I pulled it out of the shipping box, blew me away. So the figure that we're taking a look at here, that we're talking about, is the 1/7 scale figure of, I believe you pronounce it Umaru or Umar. She is from the card game Wixos, and this is her artwork, I guess, on her like level 4 card. So they labeled this one as Wixos Umer Fyra, because I guess Fyra is 4 in, I don't remember if it's Dutch or what it is. Anyways, I am in love with like just this box. It's dark blue and gold, it's shiny, it has a really nice picture of the figure on the front, it has the artwork, that the card artwork that the figure is based on the back. I mean, just a gorgeous box. Like, even, you know, the top too, just so good. I wish I could just like even display this box because it's so pretty. But as it says on the box, this is a 1/7 scale figure, and this is a yet another I believe Amakuni and Hobby Japan figure. I also got the limited version or special version that came with like this little cloth poster, as they call it. So cloth poster of the actual card art that this figure is based on, which I love this art. That's why I love this figure. So very, very happy to have been able to get the limited version with the extra poster. But enough about the box and the poster and all these other things. Let's talk about this figure. Oh, let me grab her. Okay. So this figure is like the definition of, like, I guess a centerpiece figure, or, you know, one of those figures that's like front and center in your displays. I cannot believe how well they did translating that artwork of like this girl just strapped to a giant key, with all these other keys like floating around her. How they translated that into this figure, like, absolutely amazing. So she comes basically as just technically two pieces. The key part like this, and then just her base, and she basically just slides in, and that's it. So thankfully you didn't have to try to get her on the key with all these straps and wind things around. Like, they did it smart, and that was all taken care of. I don't know, I'm just obsessed with this. There are a couple pieces that I guess I'm a little nitpicky about. I think her face is a little off from the artwork. I don't know if it has to do with like the angle that you view the figure from. Like, maybe if you set her higher up, because I think in the card art, like the perspective, you know, she's kind of above you. So I don't know if that would help. And then I guess this isn't a thing about the figure. I think this is just the artwork in general. I cannot figure out if these things on her head, in either the figure or the artwork, if these things on her head are supposed to be like dog ears, or if there's some kind of weird pigtails that the artwork isn't very detailed on. Like, they confuse me a little bit, but not enough to like not like this figure, because like I said, I am obsessed. Like, when I first saw this figure, I think the first time I saw it, I just happened to come across it a few months ago on like AmiAmi Pre-Owned, and when I first saw it, I was like, I am going to own that figure. Like, I don't know what it is about this figure, about the artwork, about all of that, but I am, God, I just can't. I can't handle it. Like, I love it so much. So I guess I didn't mention cost and everything. So AmiAmi Pre-Owned, she was also AB. I picked her up for, I think it was like $150 $157. So I feel like that's fair. I mean, this is a complicated, crazy figure, but she has been out for a few years. You know, maybe some of the details aren't quite there, like the kind of straps in her hair. You know, like I said, her face is maybe a little off. But altogether, I mean, I just think she's well done. The way her hand is posed, the way her feet are sculpted, the way this base is, I mean, just phenomenal. I'm obsessed. I know I keep saying that. I can't help it. I love her so much. I'm so happy to have her. And I can't wait to finally have other D12s up so I can put her in there and have her on display and just, there she is. So happy. Oh, and she also came with like a holographic version of her playing card, which I've just left in the box for like safekeeping. But yeah, the card with like the same artwork, but it's all in Japanese, so like I don't know what it says, like, and I don't know what the Wixos card game is anyways, so I just thought it was pretty, so there you go. Alright guys, well that is all 5 figures I had from November to share with you. I'd love to know your thoughts. You know, did you pick up either of the 2 pre-orders, either Hatsuaki or Mona, for yourself in the month of November? Are you thinking about buying them? Do you have any of these pre-owned figures yourself, or maybe are interested in them? Definitely let me know any of your thoughts in the comments, guys. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'd super appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.